So today we're gonna move some heads, and this is actually gonna be after I received some feedback that said that you are doing things and not showing them. You are jumping steps and just doing them as you assume that the audience might know it. So I will do this video in a different way. I will do all the points very visible, like this is what we're gonna do. And I will say something at every step. That's anyway the plan. So that's what we're going to do. In the middle photo, there is two faces which don't look good. But I found some faces which looks good, which we're going to use. On the photo to the left, we have the little boy looking very cute and nice, and he's going to jump over on the middle photo, and Dad from the third photo here all the way to the right, he's going to jump into the middle. How do we do that? Okay, so I'm going to use selection tool here, and I'm going to, on the photo here to the left, I'm going to go around here and just select it. Then I'm going to copy it. You can do copy, you can do I never do it here, so if you press here you can press copy. I never do that. I just press Ctrl+C. I guess you have to go all the way up here and say copy. Okay, but up here you can see this is where it says copy, and then it says very fast Ctrl+C. So when you are experienced in Photoshop or Apple, you actually don't use these shorts. You only use shortcuts. You use these here, Ctrl+C and Control. If you want to go back, you press Ctrl+Z. If you want to copy, you press Ctrl+C. If you then want to sort of paste it, you press Ctrl+V. These are shortcuts. That means that you don't have to go around searching for where can I activate this thing here. You can see obviously I had to sort of look to find it. Okay, so I have now selected, and I only press Ctrl+C because that means copy. Then I actually close this picture down. I don't need it anymore. And then I will just select the back picture here, and then just press Ctrl+V. We're not going to place it for now. I'm just selecting everything we need. So now I'm going to do exactly the same on Dad's face. I'm going to select his face and press Ctrl+C. Close this one down. And go to the middle photo and press Ctrl+V. So it looks like a mess, but actually it's not so messy. You can see over here where I move the cursor around, there's sort of three layers. We call them layers because Photoshop is built up by like pancakes being on top of each other. But they're see-throughable, these pancakes. We can see through them, and then we can see all the way on the bottom we have the original picture, and then on top of that I have one head and I have the next head. You can see if I press this here, then I can have them both disappear. This is the complete original picture. Okay, but obviously these faces are completely placed wrong, so we now are going to place them right. So we take our this tool here, we place it up here, sort of obviously this is not precise enough, but it's just for, and I select the other face, which I have here, and I put it down here. It's sort of gonna be here. That's good enough. Then I'm gonna work a little with it. So I now select the area of the little kid, and we now go close. And then this thing here is called a layer. It's called layer 1 here and layer 2 there, and then we have the background. these are automatic names by Photoshop. You can also rename them. Then I right click on this thing here and I say blending options. Blending is sort of like when you mix two layers. You want to see both. I want to see the original face and I want to see the new face we're going to put on top. I want to see them at the same time. So what I do is I put the first one here is has to do with blending options. So I choose blending option normal, and I put the opacity to something like here, half-ish. To be completely 100%, we could put it to 50. Then it's all good, but it's not that important. And then I use, I press this tool here, and then I right click and then I press free transform, because I want to be able to move the top layer until it fits. But what is it supposed to fit with? It's supposed to fit with the lower parts, because that means I don't have to do so much editing. So if, for instance, we can make the ears fit, that would be good, because then I can reuse the area where the ears are on. So we're just going to put it so the ears are right. And we sort of, this thing down here is called a handle, and here you can elongate the photo, and here you can turn it like here, and if you just want to move it around, you just press in the middle, right? Actually, there's a lot of things I haven't told in the previous videos, but I guess that's one of the cool things about feedback. You learn what you don't show. Okay, so now I'm sort of there. You can see the ear in the lower part looks good. The chin looks sort of acceptable, and this could be where his face was. Okay, so I now go back to blending options and I press it all the way up to 100 now. And you can see it doesn't, now there is some things which don't fit. So we're now going to work with blending these two things so it works. So what we're going to do is we have this layer here, and now we're going to activate a mask. A mask is something which will allow us to only have the layer be active in a certain area, because we want it to only be where the new head is going to be. We don't want the shoulder. You can see the shoulder looks mixed up here, so we don't want it down there. Anyway, I'm going to press add layer mask. It's down here in the menu where my mouse is. I just move around so you can see where it is, and I press, so we now have this layer show up. When it's white, it's all active. If it's black, it's not there. So if here comes another shortcut. If you press Ctrl+I, it means invert. And invert means that the white will now be black. And that has I select the mask, and then I press Ctrl+I for invert. And you see now we have the old photo of the face. Then I now select erasure, and it's on. The funny thing is that now if I paint with black, I'm erasing now, but I'm using black, which is the opposite of white. So actually I'm painting in on the mask. You can see here the mask now has a little bit of white there. I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. A little bit of white, and as I paint, this area of white gets bigger. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm painting in what I want to have there, but there's a lot of things I don't want to touch. Let's just go down here. You can see the mom's shoulder, and here it starts to look something wrong. But we just want to see where is the wrongness, because then we're gonna reverse it and we're gonna press now. Let's go a little bit closer so we can see what we're doing. So now I'm gonna press this thing here, which shifts my brush from black to white. So I am now, and I'm gonna erase, but now I'm erasing with white, meaning I'm actually putting in the original layer, because well, that's just how it is, kind of. And I'm going up to the ear. I know the ear was rightly placed, so I'm just gonna go like here and say okay. And now here you can see the shoulder of the mom is not there. Oh, I'm using a tool which I'm not showing you. I have a tool over here on the other screen which I was using secretly, and this tool allows me to go around wherever I want to in a fast way. So this is called the navigator, and now I want the shoulder to come back, because so you see here I'm actually running into a problem. Now it gets a little bit complicated, because I want to sort of like, the easiest thing for me to do is actually take the shoulder and tuck it in under the new face. How do we do that? Okay, I thought this was going to be easy, but it's obviously I'm using a lot of tools. Anyway, so I'm going up to something called filter. I'm going to something called liquefy, and I actually need to liquefy the original photo. So I make a duplicate layer of the original photo. It's called duplicate layer. It's just called background copy, because I always want to, in the bottom of the picture, have the original photo, so I can check with that anytime I want it. Okay, so now I'm selecting the background and I'm selecting filter, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually make the mom's shoulder a little bit longer, because I want that for this purpose here. So I'm gonna actually do something that looks a little bit horrible, but will be never shown, because it will always be under the new face. But you see, I wanted the mom's shoulder to be a little bit bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first tool, the hand, and that's an interesting tool, and I'll use a little bit smaller brush size. So I only have the shoulder here, and I'm going to just say, okay, let's move it a little bit. Let's just go like that. And let's just, for safety, just go like that also, because then I have a completely neutral background. That's good enough. Okay, so now we have the shoulder is now going on the other side now. So now it's easy for me to just, I press the the top layer now, and you see this is where I can go back to the previous layer by using I just want to demonstrate where the old face is under here, so when I use the eraser, then it disappears. But I want to go back, and then I can press Ctrl+Z, and then I can sort of like rewind. Oh, sorry, I'm pressing a wrong thing here. Ctrl+Z, and it's not doing what I wanted it to do. I just want to keep it simple. Oh, no mind, it didn't work. So I'm gonna use another tool. I have to put it in. It only works, I can only go one step back if we use Ctrl+Z. So here I have something called history. This is where I can just go back to the different earlier versions of the document. And then I can, the last thing I did, which I really want to keep, is liquefy. So I just press that, bing, and we're back there. So now I'm gonna, you can see down here, it's not completely perfect. You have a little bit of the shoulder being visible under through. See that the shoulder seems to continue into the chin, so I want to paint that back. So I'm just making the line strong now, so the line is unscathed. Then I press the other tool, I make it white again, so now I can remove some or not. I press Ctrl+Z now. I will take one step back. Let me just see what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So yeah, obviously I need to change the layer to the new face, and then I can select black, and then it should come. No, wrong. It's either white or black, but it's a little bit reversed in what you would think it would be. So just remember, if it's not one, it's the other, but you have to be on the correct layer for it to be correct. Okay, I don't know if this way of making the YouTube video will make more sense or less sense. I have something showing up here which I don't quite understand, so I have to sort of like go in and think, what is that? There's something showing up there that's odd. What is it? Oh. This is before I liquefied, so I need to sort of like be a little bit, go back to liquefy, and I don't delete on this thing here, I delete on this thing here. Now it's working correctly. We have these layers, and you have to sort of like, you're looking at the combined result of all the layers at the same time. I went a little bit too far here, so now I'm changing to black. I want it to just come back again. Now it looks fine. So what we are doing now is just checking, does it look alright? Seems to be a weird repeat up here of hair or something. So just to be sure that I have all the new face visible, I do this thing that I remove visibility of all layers. Now I have only the face, you might say, but I want to see how much of the face is being shown, so that I can just quickly do this thing that I can say I want a little bit more for it to be that it doesn't mix with anything under, that it's like, here I'm probably gonna run into trouble because, let's see, I put in a little bit more of him. Over here I put in a bit more, and here I can also put in a little bit more. And this is where it connects with the other ear from the other photo. That's fine. I just test it. So what I do is I will now see how it relates. It goes over fine. The test for this is always that you can't see it yourself. So now I will approve of that and say that's good enough. One head has been surgically removed and put the right place. So now we're going to that. So the same procedure. Now we select that up here. This is that, and I have to do it in the same sequence, otherwise you might get confused. So I go to blending, I right click and press blending, and then I press 50%. I want to see both faces at the same time. let's put it at 50% straight. Good. And then I have this selection tool which I press here. I right click and then I get free transform. That just means that I can now move it around. What we want to do is just find out where is it most likely to show up right. We have a thing here. We have his hair, and the arm has moved, so we're gonna have to reuse some of the old face. So to do that, we need to be a little bit precise on the hairline, I guess. The hairline is our target, so the hairline comes in there. Okay. We also have some of the cloth from the dress going in front of his face. Doesn't matter. Let's put the hairline in again. So we are sort of aiming to coordinate the hairline, but at the same time we have to look a little bit at the ear. So the ear is sort of coordinated, the hairline is not way off. And the neck down here is in line. That's quite important. So where the shirt is not so important, because that could have been like that. So it's just that we go to see that the important things seems like they are sort of like how it could have been placed, this head. So we press enter, and then we now make it 100% again, meaning that we now increase the layers blending to be 100%, meaning that this is now totally on top. Okay, to press OK. And now we need to put, we don't want it to be out here. We only want it to be the right places, and we want the dress again to go in front of his head. Maybe. Let's just see how it works out. But maybe we can do something to even have his head come out. Okay, so we're gonna press a layer here. Mask, to add on the layer. A layer mask it's called. We press here, and then there's this layer. And then we want to invert. We can also, if we want to do it very slow, we could sort of like use white and just erase it all out. But I don't want to do that, it takes too long time, so I just press Ctrl+Z to go back, and then I press here, and then I press Ctrl+I to invert the mask. Here we go. Boom. And now I want to just paint it in to see how it translates, if it's working. So now I just want to see if I can remove the dress, because that would be nice. Maybe it's possible to remove the dress. We don't know exactly yet, because that would require something extra, but it does look like it could be possible. Okay, so his chin goes over there, here we go, and the neck connects there. Right now we have an issue with the line down here, doesn't quite fit, but it's not a big problem. So we're gonna go with that. This could be the way we want to work it. There will probably be some problems with the jeans material in the back, but let's see. And then here comes the hairline, and we're gonna use the hairline from the previous face. So I just pressed the erasure to be that I now painted back again. So this is the original photo, which is mixing, and the hairline is going complete now. And I want to see if there is anything not 100% out. So this is where the hand is going. So let's put in the original. There. Works fine. Good. So let's just test his face. How much of the face is his? Missing something here. So press black here, it's just that you want to have a complete face. And we are using something of the top because we want that. That was needed. Okay. It's not so bad. Obviously we have some issue down here where we're not finished. And let's just go a little bit close. We can see some issues here. Most issues you can sort of like paint in, paint back by shifting that you paint. This is the original. I'm just gonna see. Oh, there's the original ear. We don't want to add. You can see the problem actually only arises very close to the ear. So we assume that this can be easily painted in again. And we actually sort of like go back and forth here between the new ear and the original background. There's a little bit of something weird here. See? There's something from the old ear. So we want that to be gone. This is how the ear is. You see that the blue jeans are slightly different. But it's mostly because of the color is a little bit darker and so on. That's fine. We will handle that. So let's just go around and see if there's any issues. Got the face out now from the cloth. It's good. And let's see if we're lucky, because if we're lucky we can just have these things merge. One way to do it is this area down here. If I make I'm trying to make this line here artificially, so I'm very lucky. Oh, there's some cloth from the garment, from the old garment. It's going this way up, so of course I can't use that. I press Ctrl+Z to go back. You can see this is almost right. So we have the two lines are very, very close. Let's see how close we can get them. This must meet somewhere. So yeah, this is what we do. I press, you can see the softness of the brush is not like the line of the cloth. So I'm going to make it more hard because I'm going to try to actually draw. Make a very smart move if it works. See what I'm doing? I'm just trying to make it look like this is the actual line. Well, that's good enough. But of course you have the roughness here of going from one skin to the other. So now I change back to the soft brush, and I just finish it off by doing a little bit of this. And here it went a little bit. So I need to read back. So now that was done. That was an easy fix. It could have been more troublesome, but it wasn't. Let's have a look where we're at now. Actually, what needs to be done to finish this up, I see how much time I used. I used half an hour. Maybe I should leave it at that and say this is a video where you now have removed the heads. Obviously, what needs to be done now is there is some bruises which needs to be fixed, and there was also something on the kid here, and let's see if mom got something here. And what about you? No, not really. Okay, but it's not the main objective has been, maybe they're not completely centered. Yeah, they should be moved a little bit to the right to sort of be more in center. Now, I kind of ask you, should I just do that? You want to hang on for half an hour or 20 minutes while we do that, or you think it's boring? We already completed the head shift, so let's just check again to see the head shift of this. That's, of course, the real head shift is going in two portions because it's like turn his head, but we can still see some of that. So we had to sort of like tuck the shoulder under. So there was two stages in that. Okay, and what about Dad? Let's have a check. It looks like he's been hit with the knee all of a sudden, like boom. Okay, but we're satisfied with that. It looks natural and it looks better, so let's put him back in place. And it was good that we actually got the cloth out of his face. That was a good thing. Okay, so if you don't want to see the rest of me cleaning up the making it complete, then you should just stop now, because mission is accomplished. The faces looks like they're in place. Okay, but let's just wrap it up. So what I do now is I take all my things here which I've done, I select them. I do that by pressing the shift button down, and then I press the top, and then they're all selected. I right click, and then I say flatten merge layers. Then I say Ctrl+A, that means select all, and then I say copy. Then I go back in history to where before I merged the layers, and I now over here now I press, and then I just got everything in one layer, all the corrections. So now I click these off. I don't need them, I think, because they're sort of like if I now press this, you'll be able to see both faces move, and all edits are now active in one layer. This is now my primary editing target, is to finish up this thing here. Let's just move them more in place and in center, and there's an easy way to do that. So what we do is we press canvas size, and we just say okay, let's make the canvas. The reason why I press here is because I only wanted to go to that direction towards the youngest kid. I wanted to expand that way, so I put the width up to 220. Press enter. Whoosh. Could have done a little bit more. So canvas size, and I press here again, and I go 225. Yeah, that's good enough. And this is actually a very easy fix. So I take my selection tool here, and I make sure it up here says fix ratio. Right now it has a certain things that it only does that, but I want it to sort of be what's called normal. That means that I can select anything I want to, and I just want to take this area here, because then I can press free transform again and just move it to the left. Push. See, now they're sort of like in the middle, and all is good. Of course we can crop the image further, which we're going to do, but right now we don't know. This is okay for master. So I could have cropped it first and then, but let's just do it like that, that's fine. Okay, so now we'll clean up the wounds. And that is obviously somebody who is working with his hands and arms and so on. And I like to use this tool of, you can use the healing brush, which is up here, and you can use the cloning tool. I like to use the cloning tool. It can sort of give me an idea of more control. But sometimes the healing brush is also very good. Anyway, so I will now select a target area. I have now put it to sort of like opacity 71. It's not 100%, but it's sort of okay. So now I do this. Theoretically, there's a little bit left of the wound, but it's not much. There's a vein down here going, so it's actually a thing. Maybe you should take a clone from here to the vein here, and then just go up here. That looks acceptable. So this thing here, that looks like a good area down here we can take from and go there. And there's this thing here, we just go from here, then take that. This is a vein again, so stay on the right. I think maybe from here to there. There's a scar. I don't touch scars. I mean, he's worked hard for the scars. So if there are scars, I'll leave them. So this is a rather compact area of wounds. So I'll go a little bit closer to see what is going on. And fine. This area I can use to take this area out. Then I go over here to take a little bit from here. And I'm gonna take this area and move it away by using this. You have to take there's a sort of like, you see this deeper here in the skin here. You have to sort of like go along those. You have to sort of like make it look like these are completely real things. So you have to pay attention to the anatomy of veins and structure and so on. Here I will take this. Good stuff. See, this is like complete. And okay, so I'm gonna fly a little bit around using this tool over here. This is the navigate out here. And I'm just gonna go, okay, so there's some face things. And there was also this thing over here we wanted to fix. So now I'm gonna check the Dean's thing here. I'm just gonna take some structure, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe down here there's some good structure to repair that. So I'm just gonna go in here and take a little bit of that. I don't bother going too close to the ear because this could also be how it was. So I'm not so. Just have to sort of look real. This looks fine. Okay, so now there's small issues in the skin here. I go very close because this is not big things he has, it's just small things. But let's just get them. So I use the cloning tool again for this. And I use a small brush. There's something in the hair. It's gone. Something here. Well, that was an arrow, so I don't know what it is. Step 2 steps back, or good. This is basically like cloning surgery. You just use his own skin to fix. I don't use 100% in opacity because it doesn't look natural. It does, but you have to be very precise, and sometimes I use 100%, but usually I use less, all the way to even 50%. So this is like it requires you very precise. When you do the cloning, you can easily make a mistake. Should I make a mistake? I don't remove these reflections 100%, but now, for instance, if I wanted to remove some of this, where it's sort of like he's a little bit of shine, if I do it wrong, let's do it wrong. I'll take from this area here, and I try to put it here. You see that looks horrible. What? So I press Ctrl+Z and I go back, and you have to see that, okay, how do you fix that? You go close and you go in the same lines like this. You move between these major wrinkles he has in his hair, in his front head. You do not touch those, so you sort of like move in between them. And up here I'll take a little bit of this. This is getting into being not important at all, but okay. Sometimes when you smile, you have a little bit more under the eyes and so on that you really want to have. So I'm gonna put it down to 50 now, because I don't want to take too much. Just want to give him a little bit extra light under his eyes while maintaining this area here, right? I want to sort of like keep it like it is, but a little bit of more appearance of light. So I'm just going to clone one time with 50% down here, and one time, and then he looks more alert, more like he's slept enough. And you'll be able to see that. Let's just check. Now I can unclick. If I take and activate his old, the new face, I put over. Like you can see here the differences, like what's happening there. I can see that. Okay, that was fine. Because we already changed the head, so I can't use that. I can't use that for reference. So I have to use the. I'll just activate these things here, because then I can see how is my editing coming along. And then I move up to the face of next one to be, and I can see there's something out here. I have no idea what that is. Something flying around in the studio. I put it up to 60 again. I probably have to stamp on it a few times and it goes away. Fine, gone. So let's go close on this young kid here to see what he has. He has some. There's some issues. I'll use the same way of doing it as I've already done, but there's actually another way to do it. Could be faster, because it's all the same. So I'm cloning my way through this. Oh, that was wrong. I'll go back a little bit in history. And sometimes you have to sort of like, it has to look right. It doesn't look completely right. I'm gonna take it down less than 50, like more like 50%. That's good. This thing he has here is very typical. You place it right under here, and you go. No, didn't work. I go back. Okay, I'm gonna just take a little bit out like that. That's better. Some red here. It's actually something that takes a little bit of practice, this thing here. It because you get the hang of it. It's just that I'm not 100% sure if these are his natural ones or they are wound, because they have a different color. They look brownish. Usually if something is a wound or it's swelling or so on, it's red. So I'm suspicious of these. I think they might be natural. And if they're natural, I don't want to remove them because they're part of his permanent expression. So I'll leave them. And that's of course taking a chance because they could be wounds, but they don't look like wounds. So there's something here where it looks like it's been falling. So that's going. I changed to a bigger brush now. There's also something here very vague, but he's just an ordinary boy who's just tumbling around doing silly things and falling on his head. A little too much. There's that color again. It could also be that this thing on the nose is dirt. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to... Kids have, in this age, they often have dirt around their noses. And that's just how it is. So I'm going to go with that, but it's dirt. It has a natural color, but it could also be that this is simply dirt. So it's gone. And I'm going back and forth to see that it looks natural. Sometimes if you see the whole picture, you get a different perspective than if you just see a little bit of it. This age is troublesome because they have a lot, usually, because they the snot dries up and so on. It doesn't have to look like completely ultra clean. It just has to look sort of like good. Let's have a look. So we go and actual pixels here, and then we disactivate the thing here. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so I can see features. Look, it's only one only has to get the idea that all the bad things disappears. It shouldn't be like there's some of his features disappearing also. So that's very important. That's the reason why I check back and forth to see if his features are still there. Also an area where there is almost always something over there in this side of the mouth. Okay, let's just check one more time. Looks fine. His mom. And here's a little bit bigger brush here. This is just to sort of like make some of the shine disappear, and that's, see down here the highlights are a bit strong, so I'm just gonna do a little bit to save them. I'm just gonna actually move a little bit of tone from up here. That was a little bit wrong down there, so I'm press one back, and then I try again. I just go a little bit like this. And here I did it again. It's the eyebrow. I have to start up further and stop around here. Retarget, go a little bit down. Now actually I think what I'm doing right now, it doesn't look completely natural. So what I do is I select in history. I just want to check. I just go back a little bit in history to there. Then I press down here, which is sort of like making history choice. Then I do this thing. Then I put the edit thing I've done active again. And then I do something here. I take my delete brush, and then I do this thing that I select erase to history. And then I make a broad brush. I want to do one swoop. Whoosh. And then I take edit and I say fade history eraser. Because I just wanted, I thought I was editing too much, but I liked some of the effect, so I want to put it somewhere in between, so it looks real, but not wrong. Maybe here, that's fine. Okay, so I'm also going to do this thing, the general thing, where I put a little bit more light under her eyes. I do that by selecting down here. And do a quick run. Oh, that looked a bit wrong, didn't it? Try again from here, like there, and also on the other side. It just brings a little bit of light. There is some shine down here, also very typical place. Whoosh. To go back, I go here. No. Not good enough. Put it over here. That's good enough. Go here. There's some bit of red there. Alright, there's a wound here. Some shine down here. Oops, did something wrong. Has to look natural. So one shouldn't completely overdo it. It's just that up here where there is hair, it's a little bit dicey because sometimes if the hair is repeated by the clone, it looks weird. So you just have to go very parallel with the hair when you do that. Okay, so, and I know that Big Sister was a very nice, clean, perfect kid face, so there was nothing really. Was something down here, but it's not really important. I just remove it anyway. Oh, there's some wounds on the kid's hand here. Let's just take those. And small brush. Just go woof, 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 woof. And this one, the wound sitting in there is difficult to remove, but is it really an issue, or is it just me being perfectionist? I guess that's okay. So I think I'm gonna leave it at this. This is the major editing done. I could do also the lighting. Should do that as sort of like another 5 minutes. So I take curves and I should just bring a little bit of light to the faces. And again, this is a mask. I invert the mask so it's not active. I take my brush tool, I select biggish brush, very fluffy, and then I just paint in some light. I select like this, I put a little bit of light on her face, here we go, and a little bit more on that, on the arms also, good stuff. And then I press levels, adjustment layer called levels. It's also working with let's just bring it in. You have levels here. Usually the curves of the picture is like this. Right now I can try to go here and see when this looks natural. It looks a little bit harsh on this side, but the rest and it actually looks nice in the middle, but on both sides there's light coming in when now it gets too much. So I'm gonna press invert on the mask, and I'm only gonna paint it in. Oops, I selected it wrong, it was already right. I'm gonna take this brush here and just go in the middle and just give it a little bit of light. I'm not gonna go to the sides. Over here there's too much light in the hair, so it can't handle more light. So maybe a bit in this stuff down here. Yeah, that's it. Good. So actually I just found my notes and I could see that Mom's face was also gonna be transferred. So, and I found some extra errors and so on. So finally I got to a point where I was so like, okay, is it right now? Does everything look okay? And I think everything looks okay, but I still called my client and sent it to be checked, and it got approved, and we're all good. So this is now the final photo, and it took a little bit longer time than I expected, but 3 out of 4 heads is also a little bit unusual, but you have to go the full length, of course, to get the perfect shot, and this is it with a little bit of photoshopping.